What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's good? What's popping? What's elite shirt? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I shaved. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I did shave. Deal with it. Deal with it, dude. Yeah, I shaved. I'm not gonna apologize for it. Apple stock checkup. Let's see. AAPL stock. Yeah, it's the same as we checked earlier. Down 2% on the day, I think. Yeah, I mean, to whatever happened today didn't turn it around, if that's what it is. Check it again. I checked it right now. Down 2%. What are you talking about? Did you see the Unity stuff? Yeah, but I think there's more to learn about it than what I see on Twitter. I think it might be a failure of... I don't think it's going to go through as written, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, the way it looks on Twitter is that Unity is trying to charge for every install of every game made with Unity forever. But... you know, it's completely unaffordable for most dev. I think there's something more to it. So we'll see. I want to follow up on it when I know more. Otherwise, I'm just talking on my ass, you know? How's everybody doing? Wait, let me play a little music here. Get a little vibe going. Quick Fast and the Furious tier list. I made a video of Fast and the Furious and how extreme they are. Just go in reverse order from that. Lil bro can't even grow a beard. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. I'm clean shaven Atrioc today. Proud of it. Hey, whoa. Thank you, Uneasy Flame, for the 1 year. Thank you, G-Jerk. Thank you for the 18 months. What's up, Babyface Brandon? I had a beard yesterday. I had a beard this morning. Face is bald. Face is bald is very funny. This chair fucking sucks. I need a new chair. This chair sucks. No face. Thank you for the 9 months. Rizzle McDizzle. Thank you for the 16 months. I'm in medical school, and I've seen them say this about someone's IQ in clinic. It's real. Say what about someone's IQ? Oh, marketers. My title. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Very true. Yes, 100%. 100%. I forgot about my dope title. No, it happens all the time. Ferris, think of the 26 months. What's up with all the bits for the stream titles? Why can't you just say what the stream is? Is that a joke? Is that a joke, or are you also an asshole? I actually don't. I can't tell a difference. I can't tell a difference with my chat, bro. Did you get younger the fuck? I shaved! Why does every single time I decide to fucking shave, I get the same fucking cycle? The same fucking cycle every single time. It's a little less fair on my face. I'm never gonna call my face bald. There's too many appearance-related memes. I'm gonna say it in this chat, in this community. All right? What's up, Yeti? Shout out Yeti in chat. Hey, Big A, you're looking extra glizzy hands today. Have you been using moisturizer? I actually have. Unrelated. It was a Germa tip that I remember from when we did the Christmas stream. He talked about how he uses moisturizer. And I was like, all right, well, I'm getting fucking old. I better use it. I've never commented on your appearance, only on your intelligence. Okay, normally I would say that's fine, but it's also extremely negative. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not like you're like, I've only analyzed your points analytically. It's more like, hey, I called you a big dumb idiot. All right, okay, I guess that's better. It's not a lot better. Do you have flooding in the U.S.? Nope. Fun side tidbit about the United States: we've never had any natural disasters ever. We just don't. It's not a big thing. We don't have flooding or earthquakes or fires or any of that shit, really. Honestly, it's tough for us to figure it out. Like, we hear you guys talk about it and it sounds bad, but how bad is it? I've never seen it. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't have that shit. That doesn't. It's because anytime Mother Nature tries to get involved, we bring out the guns. Let me turn this light on. God and guns. Yeah. When you got God and guns on your sign, that shit doesn't fly. It doesn't fly in this country. Bro's got to get that quick coke sniff. I dimmed the light. You saw it's fully on camera the whole time. What's the plan today? I was hoping you would ask that so that I could time out the first person to ask you. And you are the winner. You are the winner. Our president once asked to nuke a hurricane. Biden asked to nuke a hurricane. I doubt that. Just because it would be... Oh, Trump. Trump suggested nuking hurricanes to stop them hitting the U.S. We never tried it. All I'll say is we never tried it. During one hurricane briefing at the White House, Trump said, I got it. Why don't we nuke them? They start forming off the coast of Africa. As they're moving across the Atlantic, we drop a bomb inside the eye of the hurricane and it disrupts it. Why can't we do that? Let him cook, bro. He's spitting. Did you actually see the pig butchering doc? No. I have never watched a doc on pig butchering. Thoughts on McDonald's getting rid of the self-checkout machine? Oh, self-serve drink machines. Oh, are people abusing it? Are people like abusing the self-serve drink machine and now they're going to get rid of it? They don't use it. Wait, really? McDonald's is eliminating? Holy shit, this is a disaster. This is a public policy disaster. McDonald's is eliminating self-serve soda machines at U.S. locations. This is like every child's... It's an important point in every child's life when they get the big drink cup and they make their own custom soda by mixing fucking Gatorade and Powerade and Coke and fucking... And they tell their parents about it. That's a canonical event. Mine was Powerade and Coke. Yeah, yours and everyone else's, bro. Fucking get... I would mix Fanta and High C and Sprite to make the most sugary. I always wanted a soda that was really sweet. Like, you had almost instant diabetes was what I was hoping for as a kid. This is truly 912. Dude, I know. They always follow our toughest struggles with even worse. Oh, so... Bro, by 2032, we'll all be dead by then. Who cares? By 2032, dude, as a classic American, I could never imagine any problem more than a few months ahead of my face. That's 10 years away. I don't care. It's not, that is for a different person's, that's a different Brandon to deal with. You know what I'm saying? That's not my problem. Yeah, it's not. I'm not worried about that. That's not gonna affect me. So that customer and worker experiences will be consistent across all ordering points. That's bullshit. What the fuck does that mean? I feel like it's gotta be. Say goodbye to hybrid drinks. Oh my gosh, what I was just saying. It's theft, huh? That's what I thought. It's gotta be theft. That's a bummer. I wonder if people are like legit, because I know the classic gambit, right, is that you the classic poor college student gambit, which I did at a Taco Bell. I'm ashamed to admit. I'm actually not ashamed to admit it. Fuck Taco Bell. I mean, whatever. Is you get a water cup, which they're legally required to give you, especially in Arizona, and then you fill it with soda, specifically Sprite, because Sprite looks like water. You want Sprite, bada bing. What's the problem? What's really the problem? Okay, they're not fucking, it's nobody's starving over it. Got kicked out of Chipotle for doing that? Yeah, well. Or bring back an old cup from another visit. Now, see, that's where I think you're starting to push it. That's probably why they're doing it. I think it's old cups, and then probably people. What I'm concerned about is people like filling, someone's not looking and they fucking fill a jug or something. You know what I'm saying? They fill a gallon bucket or fill a 2-liter, and then they fucking leave and they just bring that shit home. They're doing it so people don't dine inside anymore. I think that's bullshit. That's a nice cover, but I feel like it's gotta be, because it still makes the customer experience better, and then your employees don't have to refill for them. It's cheap for them. Yeah, well, listen, I'm not worried about McDonald's bottom line. I am aware, though, that if they are losing money on something, they will get rid of it, which sucks for the rest of us that weren't really abusing it. Or slightly abusing it, The Redditor that had a backpack for Baja Blast with a tube going into the cup. Yeah, I remember seeing the diagram. Wait, does anyone have that? Baja Blast backpack meme. Yes, this one. This is an all-timer, dude. The greatest heist ever. It's real? Yeah, well, I believe it. I just think this is what I've seen. This is the all-time great diagram. It worked, too. Of course it worked, bro. This reminds me of when my little brother was so concerned about sneaking a Chipotle burrito into a movie theater that he wrapped it on his leg like a gun. Like he triple rubber banded it to his leg. And then he gets in, of course he gets in the movie theater, and now there's burrito juice all down his leg. And he's like, please. He's like so smug. And it's like, bro, you could have just walked in with it. They don't fucking care. They don't care. They're not paid enough to care. So, yeah, they don't pat you down exactly. Exactly. It's not like a fucking dystopian movie. You're not entering the Hunger Games and they fucking chuck everybody at the door. It's Most movie theaters don't care if you walk in and sit down for a free movie. I think they do care about that. How would you get past the ticket guy at the front? That's what I don't understand. What they do care. That's how they make their money, by the way. You can't. They care, they don't check. But they do check at the front. There's no ticket guy? What movie theaters are you going to? You just walk in and pick a theater and walk in? There's some kind of front gateway. What are you talking about? Yeah, there's a ticket scanning guy. That's their whole business. California ass motherfucker. Do not tell me, as someone who grew up in 13 different states and Germany and Japan, that I'm a California motherfucker, because I've been to a lot of movie theaters across this great nation, and they always check your ticket at the front. Always. Always, always, always. They've never once been like, just open season, no employee there, walk in, pick a theater. They can't afford a ticket guy, so now it's the honor system. That's blowing my mind. When a smaller theater is understaffed, so you guys are going to mom and pop smaller theaters that are understaffed and then stealing. They have like 6 people in the theater and you're just fucking sneaking in. That's cool. No, that's based. That's fucking awesome. That's really sick of you guys. Just only pay when you go to fucking AMC for your fucking third viewing of whatever Marvel slop came out that year. But never pay at the mom and pop, dude. I like that. Just only pay for the slop. AMC is easy too. I remember my dad is a big double dipper at movies. You know, you pay for the family to get in, and then you see one movie, and then you're past the security now. So you just take the family to the next movie, whatever's playing. And my mom is such a rule follower. She just gets so scared. She just gets like really fucking nervous. Like she's nervous we're going to fucking jail. Like this is fucking, it stresses her out. And so I remember, this is like, I don't know, a formative memory for me. I was like 11 or I'm a kid, you know? And we just walked out of one movie. I'm trying to remember what it was. Something dumb. And my dad's like, let's go to that movie. Let's walk. But you have to cross the concession area. Like the movie we just came out of was on the left side. We have to cross the concession area, and there was no other people there. It was just a lot of employees. And my mom was sweating like they were going to see right through us. My mom was like, no. She would not walk across this fucking just central of a movie theater where the... And so eventually my dad was like, come on, we're going to do it. And he starts walking with all of us. And my mom grabbed me and my little brother and walked us out the front door. Because she thought we would get like a criminal record. She thought we would get in trouble. And then my dad had to fucking leave. I remember, yeah, it was a moment. Did you see Taylor Swift's movie of her era tour break AMC records? Bro, where'd you learn that fact? Is there a chance you learned that fact from the video I just put out covering that exact thing? Is there a chance? You're a longtime sub. Is there a chance that this factoid that is in your brain for some reason is because that I mentioned it to you a day ago in a video? I'm just saying it would stand to reason this guy's media diet might consist of a video that I made. Did you see the video about China news electric car? Yeah. Very funny. Interesting factoid. The word factoid means something that sounds right but actually isn't. That's not what it means. Is it? Actually, I don't know. What is factoid? I thought it was just a mini fact. That's what it is. It's brief or trivial item of news. You lied to me. You guys are liars. You guys are liars and snakes. Why can't you just be honest with me? So cringe. Chat gaslighting. I know. Don't I know it? Do you think it's a bad idea to visit mainland China this year as a U.S. citizen? I don't know. I don't know about for you. I know that for me, because I really do want to visit China. In fact, after I made that China video about the debt crisis, I got reached out to a bunch of mainland Chinese people who, like, there's a guy who owns a karate studio in China and teaches kids there. It was like telling me about his experience. People were telling me about like what inflation is like, or not what deflation is like there. And they were telling me how, and you know, it was like a lot of nice people telling me their stories of what it's like in China and giving me boots on the ground information. And I was like, damn, it'd be cool to go visit, you know, just go see Shanghai. And then I looked into it and it's like, you know, the odds are not high of this, but they're not zero. That the fact that I have a military background, like grew up on military bases, have a military ID, U.S. military ID, and have many videos extremely critical of Xi Jinping, like online, I could actually get in trouble. Like I could actually, there's a non-zero chance that I get detained or flagged or like that's a real thing that could happen. And so like I can't go because that the risk is too high for like Ari and which is crazy. That's also you're bald. That's I don't know if they have any anti-bald laws in China. That's probably not. That's I understand you guys are all saying that's true. No, I understand that it's true. Well, actually, I don't necessarily. There is some hair on my head, but I don't think it's relevant. What I'm saying is it's not relevant. My streamer is a prisoner of war. You understand that I'm not currently being detained in China, right? Are you guys, when I tell a story, do you just hear every third word and kind of put it together? Or do you like, are you following? I was talking about my plan to possibly go. And now you're talking about like I'm a current prisoner of war, of which there is not a current war. We read between the lines. Yeah, I do agree that you do that. I don't agree that it's a great method. Atrioc, can you drop a joke real quick? You are talking too much about nonsense. Thank you to my mod Ataru. Glizzy hands. They're back. They're back, dude. We're so back. Good one, boss. We are so back, dude. Check the Fortnite item shop. Like I don't every morning. Casual. You think I didn't see the My Hero Academia update that adds 2 entirely new powerful items to the Fortnite world? God damn, dude. Get on my level. Did you read about the Unity changes? I did, but I think there's more to the story. My understanding is there's more to the story, so I'm not going to talk about Unity till I read more, because otherwise it's just dunking on Unity, which is very fun, but everyone's doing the exact same thing, so I think there's got to be something extra to it. We're closer to GOML 2026 than GOML 2016. Why does that incredibly inane and stupid message have to be filtered through the lens of a Melee tournament called GOML? That's just basic math. Yes, we're 3 years away from GOML 2026. You could just use the years. You could just say 3 years is shorter than fucking 7. We are closer to Atrioc being 90 than we are to Atrioc being 91. That doesn't make a goddamn lick of sense, and you know it. But you know what does make sense? Judgment with the 4 months. Thank you very much. Big A, I was going to have a... No, I'm not going to read your stupid message. I'm just not. 4 months is not long enough. If you're going to make a stupid glizzy message, I will read it after fucking 10 months. Minimum. Okay? At 4, I don't I'm not going to read your glizzy message. John Sands, thank you for the 10 months. Oh, God, please let this be fine. John Sands, yo, 10 months of subscribing to Atrioc unthanked. I'm braver than the Marines. Okay. 07 Soldier. You do seem braver than the Marines. I mean, there's cowardly Marines. Some people won't say this, but it's true. Malvor, thank you for the 13 months. 13 months, bitch, glizzy, glizzy, glizzy. That guy's braver than the Marines. Sign him up for the SEALs. Atrioc, your microphone is gross. It's just fucking fuzz, dude. Get over yourself. Honestly, get over yourself. Are you so prissy that you can't look at a microphone with some fuzz on it? Icky, gross. It looks moldy. I can promise you it's not moldy. Obviously there's no mold growing on this mic. It's just lint. It's lint. It looks like lint, and it is lint. Hey, Big A. I'm running to Cook Out. You want anything? Is Cook Out a place? You capitalized it like it's a place. Is Cook Out like a... Cook Out is gas? It's a fast food chain in the South? What? Porque? Cook Out fast food. What? This is real? Wait, F? It's green, bro. Don't fucking F me. It's fine. I lived in 13 states, and none of them had a cookout, bro. Wait, what is this? Cookout. Berbers? I can't read. Holy shit, I can't read. Oh, God. Berber? I'm having a stroke. Okay, get it in. Get the jokes in. I said burgers wrong. Burgers, barbecue, hot dogs, shakes. Nobody gives me credit for saying barbecue, hot dogs, and shakes correctly. I crushed 3 out of 4. Nobody claps, dude. I get 1 of the 4 wrong. Okay, Joe Biden. Of course he says hot dogs right. This has been an inauspicious start to today's stream. I feel like we've really backslid. TBH cheeseburger is hard to say. Now that's not... I'm like the wrong person to call you out on that. But it really isn't. You know? Like, I guess I'm the only person that can't tell you that's dumb, but it is kind of dumb, right? Fresh shakes, Oreo peach butterfinger cheesecake. All right, so this is just like a southern... Is this relatively new? That's my question. I lived in Virginia and I never had a cookout. Cookout, fast food, Wikipedia. That's what I need to see. Cookout was founded in 1989, mostly in North Carolina, and then expanded out of there. It did not go to Virginia until 2011, which I was not living in Virginia anymore. So I just missed it. And now it's all over. This is relatively new. This is like a kind of a past 10 years kind of growth. Interesting. Is it good? I mean, it's probably not amazing, but is it like, compare it to, it's good and cheap? All right. Interesting. Their cheer wine float is gas. Now I kind of want it. I know it's just fucking. I don't know. You guys got me so. I'm so. When it comes to food, I really am like whatever I last heard. I'm like that sounds good. I really. I am on the other side of the susceptible to ad situation. Yeah, it just sounds good. It just sounds good to me. It's like, yeah, Cheerwine float. Damn, that looks fucking good. Damn, bro. Wait, that looks tasty as hell. I mean, it's totally bad for you. It's not really what I'm trying to do right now. Been really focusing on the whole health thing. That looks tasty. And it's in a fucking mason jar? You know I love them in the mason. You know you put that in the jar, dude. That looks like botulism. Bro, you're a hater. A hater and a fake, which sucks to be both. The Cheerwine float is the perfect summer treat. God damn. I mean, look at this one, dude. Just tell me that doesn't look... What is Cheerwine? I'm learning so much right now. What the fuck is Cheerwine? I'm assuming it's like kind of a tasty... Well, it's not wine. What is it? Cherry. Yeah, cherry. Like a cherry soda. Ooh! It's like better cherry Coke by a lot. Damn, I want to see. Can you get Cheerwine in California? The top result is literally no, you fucking liberal. Never been to NC? Nope, I haven't. I've never been to North Carolina. I will full. It's because I hate Mr. Beast. That's what it is. Is that where he is? Yeah, I'm just trying to avoid him, dude. It pisses me off. It was Jacksepticeye, dude. He put me onto it. He told me. Magic Potato, they give it the tier 1. Soren Stram, they give the 15 months. God gives his strongest subs to his least thankful streamers. I don't like this narrative that I'm the least thankful streamer. I feel like you guys have tried to build this up lately, and it's obviously not true. I'm extremely thankful. I don't think I'm weirdly thankful. I don't think I'm overly thankful. I think I'm thankful in the way that it's what it costs you, which is $5, $2.50 to me. Is a $2 donation. And so I'm thankful. I appreciate it. It's like you support the content, but you get emotes. All right. You are, but it's so random. Maybe that's better. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe roboticizing everything and making it some sort of rote machine takes the art and the fun and the joy out of it. Maybe as a human being, isn't the randomness what makes us feel alive? Also, it's not $100. It was $5. I never fall for that because it shows me. It shows me. Not until Clint Stevens is gone. Do you guys realize that one day Clint will stream his last stream? And that day has already happened. Some jokes are too far. No, I think Clint will show up. I think Clint will show up. It's funny because I still see Clint online. I'm going to be honest with you. Almost every day playing TFT double up. The dude's not off the grid, okay? He's not streaming, but he's playing fucking a lot of TFT double up. So, I don't know if he's e-dating or what, but he's out there. He's staying busy. Someone needs to do a wellness check. I've messaged him. I told you guys that Clint, when I hit Diamond, Clint sent me out of the blue like a super nice message, like congratulating me on hitting Diamond and how he like, and I was like, okay, I wasn't even really, but it was nice. He's a nice guy. Clint's a good guy. The world doesn't deserve Clint Stevens, and that's why you don't get enough of him. Heterological, thank you for the 5 months. Simpatico, thank you for the 27 months. I don't get why Clint Stevens is popular. What's his deal? I think if you weren't around, well, actually, people like it for a bunch of different reasons. I think if you were there for when Clint played Zelda, this is like 20, I don't know, 15, 16 or something. He was very consistent, and it was, all his stories were there for the first time. That shit was banging. That shit ruled. Yeah, all of his OOT runs, he streamed every day, and you could just count on him. And he, I hadn't heard all the stories so many times, and they made me laugh. And he's just super charming, nice person. So everyone likes him. Like, you can hear him the 4th, 5th time. They're still great. Back when he and Crip were the only night streamers? Yeah, maybe. Derpy Duder. Thank you for the 15 months. Hee-haw, hee-haw. Thank you. Very powerful message. Siroctopus, thank you for the 18 months. Sometimes I birthday for the prime. And Halogenix, thank you for that don't know. Maddie C, thank you for the 30 months. Anyway, I appreciate it. If you like him so much, why don't you marry him? Taken. She put a ring on it. When you shave, you look so young, like you're 86. Thanks. Thank you very much. Were you a 10-pooler or a 4-gator? He's referring to different cheese strategies you could do in StarCraft, but I was what you'd call an economic cheeser, where I would cheese out a second expansion or a third expansion instantly with no military defense. And if they didn't kill me right then, I would run them over with superior macroeconomics. But it's also scummy. It's just different kind. No, I'm talking about Brood War. The hyper-capitalist strat. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You get it. It's the capitalist strat. Yeah, exactly. Be greedy. Be greedy, and if you don't get punished, take over the world. Man, I don't have a video for this or anything. I listened to, and then I did some follow-up reading on some stuff related to the U.S. housing market today, and I'm spooked. I don't want to talk about it too much because I think it could be a good video. There's just some stuff that I am seeing that feels like it can't end well. I'll summarize. There's a lot more to it, but the data is already so shaky. It's always like, it's already so on edge. And I was hearing from a 20-year realtor who was being interviewed, who was talking about the reality of the situation, which is that, like, boots on the ground, if you actually go look at some of these housing developments that are supposedly sold, you'll see that, like, so many of them aren't. And that a lot of companies have been kind of fudging their numbers a bit. Like, for example, he said, like, if you're driving down some of these suburbs in Texas and you see a sold sticker, they literally, some of the developments are using different colored stickers to signify whether it's actually sold or whether they actually still need to sell it but want it to seem sold so they can sell more to other people in the neighborhood. So they're kind of like lying. So, like, there'll be like a red sticker that says sold, or like a green sticker that says sold, but like they'll know the difference. And and so many of these real estate companies are putting it on their books as sold, but they're not. And the supply is actually much higher than reported up to the federal statistics, which are already shaky. And none of these companies want this to get public because it'll lead to, a big drop in housing prices, which are now owned not by regular families, but by a huge portion are owned by like Blackstone and other companies that are trying to, they were trying to buy up the entire single family home market in America, but are now, they sort of have realized, according to this guy, again, I'm looking into it. I'm not 100%, but according to this guy and what I looked into afterwards, it seemed to bear some weight. Like Blackstone has been buying properties for a very long time, but now low key on the low, they're actually a net seller, as in they've sort of realized that like there's way too much supply and people can't afford these prices and there's going to be some sort of crash and they're trying to get out ahead of it. And so they're like incentivized to keep the story going for as long as possible while they unload as many of their overpriced houses onto families. And then, anyway, the whole thing's got me spooked. I definitely want to read a lot more about it and then maybe make a video, but that's what I was doing for a few hours before stream. Did you see that Unity basically killed itself / indie gaming? Yeah, I just think it's a little overhyped. I think you are falling prey to probably the story on Twitter. What is likely going to happen is that because it became a story, they'll instantly walk it back. Or, it's like whenever Twitch did the thing where everyone thought Twitch was instantly dead because they were going to stop you from selling ads on stream or whatever. But like, turns out the language was just kind of weird. I just think people jump onto this stuff because it sounds, Unity's a big company with a lot of game devs, and I'm sure they are very stupid, but it's just, they're not going to actually sue every indie company that had an install for more than the company's worth. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? It just seems very unlikely that's actually going to happen. So I think we should all wait a week and see what the actual story is. I expect you to die 3? Are you kidding me? I expect you to die 3. Also, by the way, like the most likely greed on their part is that they want a cut of fucking Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, and they don't give a shit about anything else. And so they'll just find a different way to word it to where they get cuts of that. Like that is what Unity's trying to get a hold of, I think, because they've used their free license or whatever to make massively successful games. I don't think they're trying to get indie devs to fork up more than they're worth. But we'll see. We'll follow up. I mean, let's just give it a second. This is interesting. Is there a trailer? I love this game. I love. Is this? That's not out yet, is it? I would play this in a heartbeat. Though I have to set up my VR again. You can buy now? Wait, is this actually out? Wait. Is this actually out? No, it's not out. It releases in fucking 2 weeks, though. September 28th. Is there a trailer?
Not advanced.
Yeah, I love this fucking game.
Is that?
I don't want to spoil it anymore. I'll just play it. I'll play it when it comes out. Now, all I need to do, it should be easy, right? All I need to do as a streamer is set up my VR in the next 2 weeks. All it'll take is a human being who streams to go to that closet, pull the VR out, and set it up over the next 2 weeks. I think getting streamers to do stuff is like getting contractors in America to build stuff. It's always going to be overtime and over budget, bro. I can do it minimum 6 months for $40,000. Minimum. Write it on the board? I actually will, because I will forget that. I expect you to die 3. Shoot. He's getting so much value from the board. I am. Don't patronize me. I am. I use this board. regularly. I sent a photo of it today to a guy that I'm. I want to shout out somebody. I'm going to shout out Mingo. Is his chat name Mingo or just his Discord? Mingo. I don't think he's here. Anyway, Mingo has been helping me starting today, really. Organize and move stuff around for wins and fails. Because I felt yesterday like I was super rushed. And now he's going to help me get this shit going. So I'm excited. And there's Mingo. Shout outs to Mingo. And help me do some research. And yeah, it's good. Because I definitely felt like I had to go from... that was a 108 slide PowerPoint yesterday. And I made it all Sunday night, Monday morning. And I just felt like I was crunching on it right up to the fucking moment. And so I was like, I got to change something. Because I want that to be better. I want it to be more fucking punchy and snappy. So we're working on it. Victor, thank you for the, how much is he paying for the privilege? He's paying me $80,000 quarterly. I gave him a good deal. Yeah, I cut him a deal, a friends and family discount. Is he matching your 401k? Of course. He also has to pay for dental and hair insurance that I demanded. For what hair? Good question. I was thinking we could watch something interesting. What do you guys think about that? What if there was an interesting video that we could watch together that would be fucking... Oh, wait. Wait. Remember how we watched fucking George Bush hilarious quotes? Well, I found one, or had it sent to me, that is actually fucking funnier than all of them. I've never seen this one.
It's the first time we've been back to Texas since our trip to Africa, and you may recall we went through a park in Botswana.
Why does he emphasize it for no reason? And then someone in the top comment is like, this is like if Bush saw an old classmate in the front row who told him he'd never go through a park in Botswana. I could never understand.
We've been back to Texas since our trip to Africa, and you may recall we went through a park in Botswana.
I would love to know the context, but they'll never give it to me. They'll never give it to me. He's a national treasure. Yep. No flaws. No flaws in George Bush. That's for goddamn sure. Anyway, let's see. I thought there was some interesting videos that could be fun to watch together. Because some of these I'd watch alone, so why not just watch them with chat? Know what I mean? What about which U.S. president has the most dog in him? It's only 3 minutes long.
When clicking on this video, you perhaps thought that this would be an in-depth analysis of which US president had the most grit and tenacity in him, and the answer unmistakably would have been William Henry Harrison or Grover Cleveland. Or perhaps you thought this was a speculative video looking into which US president was the best at baseball, since that's where the term "he's got that dog in him" is derived from. And although the answer to this question also would have been Grover Cleveland, this is not why we are here.
Okay.
In this video, we will do an in-depth investigation as to which US president literally had the most dog inside of him.
So stupid.
Ever
That's so
since
much
Netflix's
stupider.
groundbreaking historical documentary,
That's so much
Abraham
stupider.
Lincoln Vampire Slayer, revealed America's 16th president spent a great deal of his free time fighting the vampire community that seemed to dominate the American South.
Not a documentary.
The looming question on everyone's mind is certainly, were any of the US presidents a werewolf?
No.
And while the US government has repeatedly denied my Freedom of Information requests regarding the nocturnal activities of America's past presidents, there was still one historical expert who might know the answer to this question: ChatGPT.
That's not.
Hours of drilling the all-knowing online oracle, questions ranging from which US president is suspiciously hairy to presidential behaviors during the full moon, went nowhere, as the glorified fortune cookie refused to divulge any information. Since it became clear that it was unlikely any US president was a werewolf, this shifted my investigation to focusing on how else a dog could get into a president. At first I began compiling a database filled with presidents and their dogs. I broke down which
There's a minute left. I don't care. What's the answer?
dog was inside a president. With no more provable evidence available, I have indeed concluded that President Gerald Ford had the most dog in him.
Great.
Shout out to my patrons.
Great. It was Gerald Ford. The good guess if you guessed it. It was Gerald Ford had the most literal dog in him of all the presidents. Whoever won the betting pool. Congratulations. Let's see. Steve Ballmer laughs at the iPhone.
$500 fully subsidized with a plan? I said, that is the most expensive phone in the world, and it doesn't appeal to business customers because it doesn't have a keyboard, which makes it not a very good email machine. Now, it may sell very well or not. We have our strategy. We've got great Windows mobile devices in the market today. You can get a Motorola Q phone now for $99. It's a very capable machine. It'll do music. It'll do internet. It'll do email. It'll do instant messaging. So I kind of look at that and I say, well, I like our strategy. I like it a lot.
I can't believe the $99 Motorola Q5 didn't beat the iPhone. That's crazy. This is the funniest thing ever said in politics.
And the phone will find.
What is this? Australian politics. You never hear about that. You never hear about that. Let him cook. It sounds like he said it's... Let love bloom. There's 1,000 different blossoms or whatever. Let's quit talking about this fucking thing. Let's talk about the people getting torn to pieces by crocs. That's a pressing issue. If you're one of the people whose family's getting eaten by a croc, this guy speaks for you. Succulent Chinese meal. Okay, this is kind of funny. It's just funny political books. Succulent Chinese meal. What is that? Oh, that's just the guy. Yeah, I've seen that one. That's not really he's like a reporter or something. He's not. I have seen that. That is funny. The best Aussie thing ever. Yeah. The biggest gold. Wait, what is this? No. Biggest gold heist in Japanese history. What is this? How Rap Genius destroyed their company. I used to use Rap Genius a lot. I like to look at the lyrics of J. Cole songs. Just kind of a cool thing I do.
Probably familiar with Genius. Maybe you were a member of the forums, you may have even contributed to the site, or maybe you just see their videos pop up every now and then. At one time, Genius was valued at $280 million. Today, it's been bought for less than a third of that by a holding company that buys dead startups and milks them for ad revenue. How a site with a thriving online community, investments from some of the biggest names in music, and a business model that has
as a counterpoint, just 30 seconds of this video as a counterpoint, it sounds like they made a lyrics website and sold it for $80 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, as a counterpoint, that's not that bad.
their customers provide their service, turn into a failing media company is a long road of twists, turns, controversies, a mass shooting, and Mark Zuckerberg.
What?
But before any of the memes, and before any of the lawsuits, 26-year-old Mabu was looking for a place to stay.
Mass shooting and Mark Zuck.
It's August 2009. Mabu had just gotten fired from his law firm after writing a blog post making fun of Allstate Insurance titled Ball State Insurance. Now sleeping on the floor of his friend Alon's apartment, Mabu was explaining
That's such a stupid reason to get fired. Is that an official blog post?
lines from the classic Cameron album Purple Haze to Tom, Alon's roommate. Tom wasn't a very big fan of rap, but he was working help desk at an investment firm in the city and did some programming on the side. So as the conversation goes on, it eventually morphs into the idea of turning Mabu's knowledge into a website, where people like Tom could come on and understand the meaning behind the songs that they listen to. Tom developed the site Rap Exegesis in just 6 hours. The earliest version of the site was barely usable, but the idea of something great.
They called it Rap Exegesis? What does exegesis mean? That's the dumbest. Exegesis. Critical explanation or interpretation of a text, especially of scripture. Wow.
Was there. Realizing
It's
that
correct,
nobody
but
was going to
so
use a
nerdy.
website called Rap Exegesis, they quickly switched over to using the name Rap Genius. And after a couple months of low-level traffic, the two, along with Alon, began starting to take the site seriously. Mabu himself did many of the earliest annotations, some of which you can still find on the site. It was clear from the start that Mabu was the public face of the company, interacting with its online community and building the site through Twitter, while Tom and Alon handled the more technical and business aspects of running a new startup. Inspired by the film The Social Network, both Tom and Alon, who was working as a celebrity hypnotherapist, left their day jobs to help Mabu work on the site full time. Living off their savings and working from their home office, they went fully in on what would soon become the most popular lyric site ever. By 2011, the site was getting over 1 million unique visitors every month. Around this time, Rap Genius decided to implement a forum directly onto the site. With their rising popularity, this should be the biggest rap forum ever. They had already built the foundation and were now fully building out a community. With the new flock of rap fans, Rap Genius applied to startup incubator Y Combinator, where they managed to raise 1.8 million in seed funding, which now gave them the ability to move into an actual office.
$1992. This was in 2012.
College students Eric Benna and Mark Andreessen watch a
gonna-
demonstration of the web browser Viola WWW at the National Center
Are they going to explain what Y Combinator is? Wait, is this all on Okay, I thought this was all on Mosaic. I was like, who cares?
for supercomputing applications. The browser was very limited, but this demonstration inspired Eric and Mark to develop a web browser themselves, one that could be used by the general public. On January 23rd, 1993, they released an alpha version of Mosaic, commonly thought to be the first widely used
Why
web
is it
browser.
being included?
Mosaic was incredibly successful. Mosaic helped rectify many of the shortcomings other more limited browsers
I'm
were facing
legitimately
at the time.
why?
But there was one feature Mosaic had planned but had to leave on the cutting room floor. Group annotations. To
Okay.
implement this properly
Okay.
would require a server to host all the annotations, and because they didn't have time to build that to scale, they dropped the feature entirely.
Okay.
After hearing about Rap Genius, venture capital firm Andreessen Horowitz invests $15 million into the startup, with Horowitz adding that it's one of the most important things they've ever funded. 2012 would be a big year for
To be clear, I've never seen Andreessen Horowitz not say that about every single thing they've ever funded. And they funded some stupid shit, bro. They funded that thing where you could, like, pay someone to e-date you when you play League of Legends. They funded that company where you could, like, pay for a friend to, e-pal, not date. They changed it. It used to be dating and now it's pal. Yeah. It used to be e-girl GG, now it's e-pal. They funded that. They funded fucking the WeWork scam guy's new real estate company They funded that and said it was one of the most important funding they ever did. And they put in like $500 million into that.
For Rap Genius. They had grown to over 10 million monthly users, 17 full-time employees, and implemented a verified artist feature to give verified annotations behind the meaning of lyrics. In December, the three founders were featured on Forbes' 30 Under 30. But it's 2013 that would prove to be the peak for Rap Genius. Mabu was invited to dinner at Ben Horowitz's house along with Nas and Mark Zuckerberg. After asking permission and being told no, Mabu snapped a photo of the dinner and posted it to the Rap Genius Instagram. Because of the
bro, ask forgiveness rather than permission if you're gonna do it no matter what. If you're gonna ask, then they say no, then you do it. There's no out. There's no way to be like, oh, I didn't know.
Zuck demanded he remove the photo and issue an apology. Zuckerberg was actually a supporter of Rap Genius early on and had already known of Mabu. They even exchanged texts. Later, during an interview about the incident, Mabu would tell Zuck to, quote, Zuck his dick, something he would also tweet later in the year at Warren Buffett, while starting a Warren Buffett diss track competition on Rap Genius. This tweet caused Jay-Z to pull out of a meeting they had scheduled. Mabu chalked these outbursts
Bro, you were gonna get a free dinner with Jay-Z? And you ruined it so you could tell fucking 90-year-old Warren Buffett to suck your dick? That's crazy. Why? Warren Buffett has never heard of this guy. That's crazy.
Up to the fact that he was suffering from a brain tumor. But that's not the actual reason. The team at Rap Genius took on the idea that any publicity is good publicity, and they would push this idea as far as they could. In May, Mabu, along with Tom and Alon, were scheduled for what many saw as the first public introduction to Rap Genius, a 30-minute panel.
Why did they think that the owners and founders of the site needed to be stars at all? Why would anyone care about, like, just make a good lyrics site? That part was working. That's not part of the strategy.
At the annual tech conference, TechCrunch Disrupt. Their panel would solidify what many already thought of the trio. Labeled foul-mouthed tech bro douchebags, they played into the personas thought up to try and attract attention. Something very different in the tech scene, almost like something out of a movie. They also said that the future of Rap Genius wasn't Rap Genius, but News Genius, and that they were actively working on spreading the annotation aspect to every website on the internet, as well as saying that in just a year, Rap Genius will be bigger than Facebook. In July, they added sections for Rock Genius, Poetry Genius, and News Genius, and with the new sections of the site was more popular than ever, and the forum was exploding, until they were delisted by Google in December for predatory SEO tactics. Genius was agreeing to tweet out rap blogs in exchange for the blogs posting Genius links to the songs they were talking about, in turn boosting Rap Genius's SEO to Google's web crawler. Google doesn't usually fuck around when it comes to things like this, but they gave Genius a little slap on the wrist, made them fix some links, and 2 weeks later they were back on top of search results. I guess being multi-millionaire Yale grad.
I remember this because, like, the second Google did this, Genius lost like 88% of its traffic or something. Like all of their traffic came from Googling, song plus lyrics or Genius, like that. There was no like people going to the Genius community that weren't going there from Google.
Graduates has its perks. But this wouldn't be the last issue they had with Google. Less than a year later, Google would begin showing lyrics in their search results, cutting off much of Genius's traffic. Coming into 2014 though, Genius was on top of the world, and their business model was nothing if not expansion. So much so that they began neglecting the forums. In May of that year, as they were gearing up to reveal a dozen new Genius products, 3 hours after the Isla Vista shooting that left 6 dead and many others injured, users not only managed to upload the incel manifesto, but began annotating it. Users along with Mabu, who would go on to describe the killer's writing as beautiful and add that his sister is probably smoking hot. The annotations not only didn't attempt to enhance anyone's understanding of the text, but went beyond that into gleeful insensitivity and misogyny. Maybe it was his brain tumor. Maybe it was the fact that it had been a year since.
Does he actually have a brain tumor, or are they just saying that? That's like the only explanation for that. This is like, all of these decisions are such crazy own goals They're like, no one is forcing you to do anything close to this. This is like Kanye saying, I like Hitler. I mean, it's just crazy. It's like, it's very avoidable.
TechCrunch, and surprisingly, Rap Genius was not bigger than Facebook. Genius forced Mabu to resign and ended any relationship they had with him whatsoever. With Mabu now out of the picture, Rap Genius decided to fully redesign the site and even dropped the rap to just Genius. They raised $40 million in Series B funding and officially launched sections for Fashion Genius, as well as Tech Genius, Screen Genius, History Genius, Sports Genius, Lit Genius, Pop Genius, R&B Genius, Meta Genius, X Genius, even Law Genius, where you can help annotate the IRS's 1040. They were rapidly expanding, but at the cost of the community. Mabu was the de facto community leader, so when he left, so did almost any transparency with the company. The forum users were asking for quality of life updates for years. It was still on the basic design platform it had been on, and frankly, the design was horrible. With the rise of sites like Kanye Titha and Section 80 that had no real backing, certainly not one of Genius's size, it made no sense for their site to look like this. The forum sections were just confusing, and a lot of them arbitrary. And once you got into a thread, maybe one with 1,000 replies, you'd have to scroll through every reply. There was and still is no page element. The site design was so bad, even Kanye reached out to Ben Horowitz and offered to redesign the site. The site remained mostly the same leading into 2015. All the extra sections Genius had didn't really pan out. Unlike their belief that Vogue would hire you if you had a high fashion genius IQ, nobody was going to Genius to talk about fashion or Malcolm X's autobiography. In the middle of 2015, they started yet another site redesign, except this time it came with a new logo, one that would become iconic for the brand. Before they went public with this change, they asked feedback from inside their community. The response was overwhelmingly negative, but they negated all feedback and publicized the change anyway. Around this time, the now two co-founders went on a press run talking about how they go to couples therapy and retconning the entire founding of Genius, stating that it had started from a conversation the two had, completely wiping away Mabu's contributions. Realizing the extra sections were going nowhere, they also collapsed back into just Genius and set their sights on annotating the world. They released a browser extension that would allow anybody to annotate any website at any time, and partnered with the Washington Post to annotate the presidential debates. They labeled this News Genius. The extension was ultimately a failure. You couldn't see annotations unless you also had the extension. The entire reason Andres and Horowitz invested in the first place was the potential to annotate other sites. And with the backlash for the extension potentially promoting ways to spread misinformation and cyberbully others, it was eventually discontinued. So now, with their ultimate goal wiped away, Genius pivoted in another direction. Original content. After a video of Designer explaining his lyrics went viral, they decided to turn the verified annotation feature on their site into a whole video series. This would end up becoming their flagship series. And to many watching this video, this may be all you know Genius for. They hired Rob Markman to be the head of artist relations, reaching out to artists and filming interviews. He kind of became the new face of the company. They started Genius News, not to be confused with News Genius or the other News Genius, and dived headfirst into producing new video content for YouTube. They didn't even host the videos on their own site, and because of this, the community felt like Genius had turned their back on them.
I'm looking at these like, I mean, these views aren't big enough to run a company off of. You know what I'm saying? This is good. You could, if this was one person's channel, they'd be eating well, but this is not a company. You can't have salaries in a building off this.
Many users begun leaving en masse. I mean, these are the same people you expect to transcribe and annotate your lyrics, funding your entire website, but you can't give them basic platform updates they request. At this point, Genius had already funded $79 million, and the forums still looked like this. They sunk every last dollar into video content and let their site rot in the process. This continued this way for years, with the forum numbers dwindling, many of the site's annotations becoming poor, and many songs not getting...
I mean, some of this is also like forums just died in general. Between, 2011 to 2020, people just went to Reddit, It would be interesting if they had made a Reddit-like experience about lyrics or rap. You know what I'm saying? You could have a subreddit for each artist or something, like a sub-genius. That could have been something, but I think even if they updated it, they would be on a losing slide because consumer attitudes change. They just don't use forums anymore.
Annotated at all. Genius had fully turned their back on their site and were no longer interested in anything but YouTube. In June 2019, Genius filed a lawsuit against Google and lyric provider LyricFind, seeking $50 million. In Google's never-ending endeavor to conquer every corner of the internet marketplace, not only did they begin to show lyrics on their search results, but allegedly had sourced them from Genius. Genius had begun embedding Morse code into the transcription of their lyrics that read red-handed. With this, they proved that 90% of all Google's lyrics had come from Genius. And not only that, but once Google incorporates lyrics onto their search results, click-throughs to Genius dropped 94%.
Yikes.
The lawsuit would be dismissed after the judge found that Genius's lyric transcriptions were derivative works and that they did not hold the copyright to the lyrics, meaning that they could not claim Google's display of them as a copyright violation.
I mean, true, right? Because the fans submitted them
After
anyway.
being beaten in the court by Google, while simultaneously relying on them to keep their company afloat, Genius began to focus
I'm
on...
kind of shocked, though, that traffic drop. I mean, I guess that makes sense, right? You'd look for something lyrics, you just see it on Google, that's it. But I liked Genius because, like, at least for rap songs, sometimes you want to know what the lyrics mean. You know, you'd actually want to read the annotations. For me, like, I actually used the service. I didn't just like want to check. It's built into Spotify now. True facts. Yeah, I guess if you don't own the distribution, you're always at the mercy of a bigger platform, like aping your one innovation.
On live content hosted on Twitch. During the height of the pandemic, Genius started Genius Live, where viewers could send money to ask their favorite artists questions during a live Q&A and performance. The funding for this project spurred a round of layoffs within the company. One of the employees told Fine Print New York, "We were all like, this is a bad idea. No major artist is going to sign up for this, and people aren't going to want to sit at home and pay $100 to ask Wiz Khalifa, what's your favorite cereal?" And he was right. Genius Live was a failure, much like Genius News, News Genius, and all of their other endeavors. In mid-2020, the great Maboo would return, with an article posted to Hacker News calling for the resignation of Tom Lehman and Alon Zechary, calling them two white guys who have no black friends, are mildly racist, and have zero passion for hip-hop. Maboo was looked at as a disgruntled employee, so his accusations didn't make any headlines. But in the same week, Alon's wife, Andre Gelman, had resigned from a company she co-founded after accusations of profiling and mistreatment to black and brown employees. A month after Maboo's article came out, Alon himself resigned as president of Genius to go back to celebrity hypnotherapy, and they replaced him with Nikki Tolliver King, the first black exec for Genius. Genius had already become a sinking ship, and in September 2021, with less than 500,000 of the 79 million they had once funded, Tom Lehman hosted an all-staff Zoom meeting where he announced that Genius had just been sold in a fire sale to holding company Media Lab for $80 million, and that since the total purchase price that will be distributable to the shareholders is significantly lower than the liquidation preference of preferred shareholders, holders of common stock and options will not receive any consideration. With Media Lab adding that some very talented individuals...
So that means every employee that worked for shares over the past 10 years got nothing? That's so fucked. That's so fucked. Oh, that's so fucked. Yeah, all the money went back to Andreessen Horowitz, basically.
On the content and production teams were going to be let go. They fired an undisclosed amount of employees, made employee stock options worthless, but somehow the execs of the company walked away with huge paydays. Tom Lehman, $13 million. Alon Zechary, $8 million. 4 other unnamed execs, multi-million-dollar parachutes. Rob Marksman, only $600,000.
That's so convenient. That's so convenient. Of the 80 million, the executives got fucking 40. Andreessen Horowitz got the rest, and then employees got 0.
King doesn't work there anymore. Maboo is currently suing the company, and the community is dead. Verified is the only thing that's keeping Genius alive. If not for Verified, the company would have been bankrupt a long time ago, and Media Lab would have never picked them up. Every time you see that yellow background, it should remind you of just how bad Genius dropped the ball by trying to expand too fast, neglecting their core user base, neglecting the core foundation of providing lyrics, and turning their...
Bro, this is like the story of every esports team. That's what they all did, dude. They got a little money. They got a little taste of cash.
Back on their community. A community that doesn't even exist anymore.
Maboo now runs a Web3 Twitter competitor. Helladoge.com. That brain tumor better be real. That better be a severe get Dr. House on it brain tumor, bro, because I cannot excuse Helladoge. Interesting. I honestly did not know that story. I vaguely knew of the Google thing, but I thought that traffic only went down when they got delisted. Now they're back, it was still fine. But I guess just having the lyrics there. That's interesting. Perfect segue, house time. Actually, we're not doing house till 10 p.m., but I will be happy to ban you. So don't worry about that. Where the fuck did he go? What's funny is now that I'm scrolling up, he's like not the only one that said it. So really I should ban more people, but I fucking am just going for this fuck. Some people escaped. Dude, I just fucking shut the fuck up till 10 p.m. I do it at 10 p.m. when I want to do it. Short vid by Wendover. What's it about? Let's see.
Notable place.
Why thousands of Chinese tourists started coming to a random British village? Probably the tasty food, right? When I think of Britain, I think of the world's greatest cuisine. It's a short video. It's 5 minutes. I'll watch it.
It got 13,723 people, 7 pubs, and 1 Domino's pizza that, according to reviewer Keep Smiling 2014, has, quote, shocking service and cold food.
Yum, yum,
it's a place
yum.
so unnotable that about 40% of the Creative Commons pictures I could find of it are all from the same local 5K. But in 2016, Kidlington became a tourist hotspot. Groups of Chinese tourists began descending on the village, taking pictures of all the exciting sights. Sights like random people's houses, nondescript gardens, and whatever this is. They actually ignored the village's only notable piece of architecture, this 13th century church, instead opting to jump on residents' trampolines and ask if they could mow their lawns. And it wasn't just a one-off. Week after week, the tourists kept coming, taking selfies in front of unremarkable 2-bedroom houses like they were Cinderella's castle. And nobody, least of all the people of Kidlington, could figure out why. Quickly, a number of theories developed. One claimed that Kidlington had been falsely advertised as a location of 4 Privet Drive, the canonical home of the beloved character Vernon Dursley.
He's not beloved.
Another claimed it was because Kidlington was featured in an episode of the TV show Inspector Morse. After all, nothing drives Chinese tourism quite like British detective shows from 1987. The BBC attempted to get to the bottom of things by handing a survey to tourists, but the tourists' only explanation was that they were there to experience, quote, the true sense of this country. Residents began discussing the matter at length on the Facebook page Spotted Kidlington, which I tried to look at for research, but it turns out it's been taken down and the fascists who run the new page refused to let me join.
Bastards.
Now, at this point of the video, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that I know exactly why these Chinese tourists showed up in Kidlington, and I'm going to tell you. The bad news is that first I'm going to put that reason in context by explaining the phenomenon of Chinese tourism. Okay. Sorry folks, we've got to teach you something, otherwise we lose our educational nonprofit status and I have to start paying taxes. Now, if you've ever been to a major city or listened to your racist grandparent go on a rant, you probably know that Chinese tourism has exploded in the last few decades.
Rising middle class.
Before 1995, tourism was functionally illegal for Chinese citizens who weren't permitted to leave the country apart from a few narrow exceptions. But around the mid-90s, the whole communist countries preventing their citizens from going places thing started to look like it may not be the surefire political masterstroke everyone thought, so China introduced its Approved Destination Status program, allowing citizens to take guided group trips to government-approved countries because nothing says freedom quite like chaperone field trips with government permission slips. This relaxed travel policy and the emergence of the Chinese middle class has turned China into the biggest tourism spender in the world. In 2019, the last pre-pandemic year, Chinese tourists spent $260 billion abroad, nearly double the next highest country, the United States. And destinations across the world have had to adapt to their new customers. In Las Vegas, for example, nearly every premier hotel now has a Chinese restaurant, has begun putting kettles into hotel rooms for tea drinkers, and placing slippers at room entrances so guests can take their shoes off immediately. Hotels around the world have even begun taking mirrors down and rearranging beds away from the door so that the rooms align better with feng shui principles.
Okay.
At Bicester Village, the biggest outlet mall in England, which now generates 40% of its revenue from Chinese tourists, you'll find a Chinese-style noodle stand in the village center, Chinese New Year souvenirs sales, and a pret-a-manger with Mandarin menus to provide Chinese tourists with an authentic taste of fake French food. Bicester Village, by the way, just happens to be 8 miles from, you guessed it, Kidlington. And I know you're thinking, wow, nice job, Sam. You managed to tie the end of the educational section into the beginning of the answer to the Kidlington mystery. But the truth is, while its proximity to Bicester Village is part of the explanation behind the Kidlington tourism mystery, the bigger reason has to do with this place, Blenheim Palace, the birthplace of Winston Churchill, and the answer to the question, should there be a wealth tax? It turns out that Chinese tour companies were charging $68 for an optional Chinese language tour of Blenheim Palace. The trouble was, the tourists who hadn't paid for the tour, who were dropped off nearby, had figured out that they could just walk to the palace and buy their own tickets for $25, thus saving $43 while providing equal opportunity to hear how Winston Churchill overcame his humble beginnings of being born in a $250 million castle. And so, Chinese tour companies needed a place to stash the tourists who hadn't paid for the tour of Blenheim. A place far enough away that they couldn't just walk to Blenheim, but still nearby enough that they could easily drop them off on the way to the palace and then pick them up on the way to Bicester Village. A place they could sell to tourists as an authentic slice of English life. A place like Kidlington.
Okay, so if you just watched this video and thought, hey, that video was just a bunch of stock footage, even I could do that, then I have some news for you. You probably could. Making educational YouTube videos is easier than ever, and that's thanks in big part to our sponsor, Storyblocks.
This is actually true. I mean, there's so many. I think this is Wendover, right? That's half as interesting. Now, the good ones have exciting scripts, good pacing, and good voice, but like there's so many of these now on YouTube. Oh, it's the same guy? Okay, I got you. Yeah, he's really good. He's obviously super talented, and most people couldn't do it, but... and a lot of people are just doing, like, they're doing ChatGPT scripts and Storyblocks videos, and they just try to get a catchy title and thumbnail and just hope. That was interesting. That was actually a perfectly sized video. Very interesting. Bluster, they have the 16 months. Thanks for the content. It's got me through some months. 16 of them, hopefully. Appreciate it. WFK24, think of the 2 months. Usurping Wall, think of the 30 months. Chamber Ult, think of the 25. Lyra Fits, think of the 18. When are you rewatching Bionicle? Bro, I got a picture. Wait. Where did I put it? So Duck Bricks had one of his staff, I think. This woman, Birdie, watched the 9-hour thing, except, yeah, I mean, is this it? No, wait. I am getting slacked. I checked my fucking Slack thanks to you. Sorry? Fucking get over it, bro. You're so hostile. Yeah, my Slack message popped up. It's not the end of the world. It's not going to fucking ruin your life that you had to fucking slightly check it. Christ. Entitled? Fuck. I thought I had a photo. Anyway, she was forced to watch the 9-hour Bionicle thing, except Duck Bricks does not live stream. He only does videos. Like, really? And so he didn't have any viewership. Like, it was like 48 viewers on YouTube. And they weren't really chatting. So she was honestly, and also she wasn't allowed to 2x speed or anything. So she was literally in there for 9.5 hours with like nobody to chat with. Just getting waterboarded with fucking Bionicle now. It was like solitary confinement. And, you know, I was working, so I watched a little bit of it at the beginning, and she was like chatty and having fun, and the chat was still kind of talking, whoever was there. And then I tuned back in at like 7 hours, and she was dead silent, and the light was completely out of her eyes, and there was not a single message in chat. And I was like, I knew it. I knew this would not be a good idea. I knew this would not be a good idea. I mean, she was just completely checked out, just like zoned. But I didn't get to see the ending. I might have picked up at the end. Oh, Bush Botswana context? Wait, I need to know this. I need to know this. This is the first time we've been back to Texas since our trip to Africa. You may recall we went to a park in Botswana. It's where I learned a lot about our party's mascot. Dude was just excited to say he saw an elephant. Wait, what? Was there more context to that? I don't. Because his voice emphasis is the one that's the problem. Park in Botswana, full quote. They don't have the full quote, bro. Wait, let me listen to it and see if that makes sense.
It's the first time we've been back to Texas since our trip to Africa, and you may recall we went through a park in Botswana.
There's no, dude. No, because he like leans forward. That doesn't make sense. Like that's not how language works. Do you know what I'm saying?
You may recall we went through a park in Botswana.
It's actually funnier knowing that you think there's context. It doesn't mean he leans forward and kind of angrily he was trying to wake someone up who fell asleep in the front row. That would make sense. That would make sense. If there's somebody in the front row who fell asleep to the president's speech and he's trying to wake him up, that's the only thing that makes sense.
You may recall we went through a park in Botswana.
That's a heater, bro. I'm surprised I never saw that growing up. I only saw that yesterday. Oh, wait, there's a fucking press release on it? What? No, that's the rest of his sentence, but it doesn't explain his voice raising. Small, sad, tiny pee-pee boy. Thank you for the 24 months and your message. I recall the park in Botswana. I can't imagine not being there. You were there with Bush? That's really incredible. That's an incredible. Oh, a video about the first market bubble. That could be interesting. We already watched this, I believe. This is extra history. And it has 10 parts. And it's not that short. You said it was short, but it's actually like a 10-parter. And we already watched it. We could watch about the 1929 stock market crash.
March.
Let's do it. I think that'd be very fucking interesting. It's only 9 minutes.
March 4th, 1929. Washington, D.C. The inauguration of Herbert Hoover.
Okay.
We have reached a higher degree of comfort and security than ever existed before in the history of the world.
Says America's 31st president.
Through liberation from widespread poverty, we have reached a higher degree of individual freedom than ever before.
Based.
Hoover's campaign had focused on prosperity. Though he had not personally approved it, a local campaign flyer had stated that Republican policies had put a chicken in every pot and a car in the backyard.
In no nation are the institutions of progress more advanced. In no nation are the fruits of accomplishment more secure.
Secure.
In no nation is the government more worthy of respect. No country more loved by its people. I have an abiding faith in their capacity, integrity, and high purpose. I have no fears for the future of our country. It is bright with hope.
Bro, that's the problem. This speech is like taunting God. This speech is, it's like getting a tattoo of your favorite team before they play. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you're clearly, it's the hubris. It's just, it's fucking.
Black Thursday is 6 months away.
Dun, 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 dun.
The month of Hoover's inauguration. One number is on the lips of every trader on Wall Street. 381. An all-time high for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. From the outside, the economy looks strong, but there are worrying signs. For 9 years, the stock market has climbed, increasing sixfold from its level in 1921. And the relentless upward trend makes investment look like a sure thing. And throughout the second half of the 1920s, more people buy into the market than ever before.
Based.
And not just stockbrokers or captains of industry. Factory workers, restaurant owners, and even shoeshine boys are all putting money in. One market analyst says the Dow has reached a permanently high plateau. Steady gains make investing seem like easy cash,
stocks go up.
especially because you don't even need money to get into the market.
You can use
because
debt.
stockbrokers at the bank offer loans for investors to buy stock, a practice called buying on the margin.
Whoa.
And the beauty is, everybody makes money. With the upward climb of the market, you can put down 10% of a stock's worth, take out a loan from your broker for the rest, and then sell the stock when the value goes up high enough to pay off the loan and net yourself a profit.
Awesome.
People mortgage their homes, even their businesses, to buy stock, sinking all their savings into it. And why not? It's a sure thing. Unless there's a margin call. Because the stock is actually the collateral for the loan. So if a value of a stock drops, the down payment the investor has provided has essentially shrunk. In that case, the broker who lent the money can ask the investor to immediately provide more money to repay a minimum amount of the loan. And if they can't, the investor then has to
See, the trick is now this happens to people on Robinhood. And if you get margin called on Robinhood, just delete the app and close your eyes. You know what I'm saying? If you take out a big loan on Robinhood to buy stock and it goes down and you now owe a bunch of money, just delete the app. La 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 la. They can't get you. You'll never be able to. It never happened. You're good. I need to make a TikTok on this.
sell the stock to cover the loan. But investors aren't the only ones borrowing money. Easy loans and installment buying have fueled the economic boom of the 1920s. Businesses take out loans to expand, families buy new household goods and home improvements, and Henry Ford offers the Model T in installments, creating a massive boom in auto sales that in turn fuels the American steel, glass, petroleum, and rubber industries.
Let's go, America!
And most crucially, farms borrow money to mechanize. Pushed to surge crop production during World War I, farmers borrow money to both expand their acreage and buy tractors, harvesters, and other equipment. The problem is, this new production capacity floods the market with cheap agricultural goods, making it now more difficult for the leveraged farms to make money. In other words, America is stuffed with bad loans. In fact,
and it'll never happen again. We'll never, ever be in a situation in this country when there's a widespread round of debt that can't be paid back. Never. Because that is a mistake we've learned from.
By 1929, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York is so worried about buying on the margin that they raised the lending rate to discourage borrowing. But this, unfortunately, has a knock-on effect. Central banks in Europe now feel they have to match the new rate, sending many of those nations, still recovering from World War I, into recession. This sudden uncertainty, along with a well-respected analyst saying that they believe the market is overvalued and might crash, trigger a few market shocks in October. But the Dow always recovers its value before the end of the day.
Whew.
Until October 24th, 1929, Black Thursday. The shouting starts right.
What? It would be crazy. It would be crazy if we got a 2023.
Right after the opening bell.
Sell! Sell! Sell!
A feeding frenzy. No one knows what's happening, but investor sentiment has soured, and the panic is infectious. Minutes into the trading day, the market loses 11% of its value. Floor traders shove, scream. So many
There's one thing that's different now is they have what's called circuit breakers, where I think if it's even like 3%, I think if the market drops like 3%, it just closes. They just stop. You just can't trade. They just stop. Yeah, it's like 3.4%. And then you just can't. And then, then the next day you can again, but like it can't all drop it. Assuming everyone is trying to sell, it'll just happen every single day in a row. You'll have multiple down days, but you can't have one massive panic sell down day anymore. So ideally, it's supposed to let people like regain their senses and not be so herd driven. Remains to be seen, right? But that is the one difference.
Trades happen so fast. The stock ticker that brings the market real time to traders across the country can't record the wild fluctuation in price, meaning stockbrokers in Chicago and California are trading based on prices that are 4 hours old. People begin gathering outside on the street, sensing the chaos. Rumors fly around Wall Street that stockbrokers are committing suicide, leaping from the windows of their buildings. But these reports are false, fed by the death of a German chemist who had really, though accidentally, fallen out of a hotel window.
That's crazy.
However, in the panic, the public takes these rumors as gospel. In a back room, several titans of banking meet to try to halt the chaos. There's the head of Chase National Bank, the head of Morgan Bank, and the head of National City Bank of New York. These men remembered the last financial crisis, the panic of 1907, where the market had lost half of its value within 3 weeks. And the market only steadied when J.P. Morgan had gathered a consortium of banking friends to make big investments in both the stock market and the banks. They decide to do the same. Between them, they gather upon...
Yeah, I think that, I've read about this. I think Richard Whitney here shows up and he buys like 1 million shares of U.S. Steel or something and be like, things are good. But then, I mean, we'll watch it. He's going to explain it. But I think it immediately turns against him.
Pot of money and hand it to Richard Whitney, vice president of the New York Stock Exchange. He walks onto the trading floor, attracting everyone's attention, and makes a huge buy of U.S. Steel, offering a price well above what it's currently trading at. Then he does the same for other major companies, showing his faith in the market. It has the desired effect. The market begins to climb.
It's just a
at
story.
The
It's
closing
a well-known
it's only
story.
lost 6.38 points. But it isn't over. Though the market has temporarily calmed, that big drop has shaken traders' faith. The margin calls start going out. And all over America, dinner cooks, busboys, and farmers pick up their phone to find out they suddenly owe their brokers money due immediately.
Yikes.
Some amounts are massive, $500, $1,000. Sums that in 1929 you might not even be able to cover by selling a car or a house, even if you could sell a car or a house that fast. But people most certainly try. October 28th, Black Monday. The opening bell signals pandemonium. Floor traders shout and shove. Everyone wants to get out of the market. Well, some don't want to. They have to. Selling stocks to repay loans because their clients couldn't pony up enough for the margin call. And everyone wants out fast. Values are tanking so quickly that the difference between selling now and selling 30 minutes from now could mean another 10% of value loss.
Who's buying,
And there's
though?
such trading volume that some trades are never even recorded. And by the end of this day, the Dow
what was actually super... I have this this book.
has lost another 12.82% of its value, and the panic continues. October 29th, Black Tuesday. The market won't stop bleeding. People are getting into fistfights on the trading floor. The problem is that even though everyone is selling, no one's buying. It keeps going down, down, down. Shell-shocked floor traders look at each other, trading slips spilling out of their pockets. Some are now so worthless, they leave them on the floor. The market has dropped 23% in 2 days and would keep dropping.
Oh, it's still
Another
playing.
emergency
Wait, what the
stock
fuck?
purchase by banking.
God damn it, I missed it. I have to watch it. It was it at 6:40. Thank you. Well, now you guys have to watch the same thing again, which fucking sucks. This book is called The Great Depression: A Diary, and it's like a middle class dude who kind of, I think, he didn't become lower class, but he did lose some money in the Great Depression, and he just wrote a diary of every day working on Wall Street. And the interesting thing was the way like the fucking ticker tape worked was so poorly updated. Like, at least now when a stock drops, you get instant updates online and you can buy and sell online instantly. But because you had to like route your orders through someone on the phone and they weren't getting real-time updates and it was all random, you were basically like, it was completely gamble. You had no idea what the price was when you were selling, and you had no idea what the price would be when the sell order went through. So everyone is just fucking, it increases the panic.
The Dow has lost another
thanks for the raid, Connor,
12.82%
if
of
it
its
was
value,
on.
and the panic continues. October 29th, Black Tuesday. The market won't stop bleeding. People are getting into fistfights on the trading floor. The problem is that even though everyone is selling, no one's buying. It keeps going down, down, down. Shell-shocked floor traders look at each other, trading slips spilling out of their pockets. Some are now so worthless, they leave them on the floor. The market has dropped 23% in 2 days and would keep dropping. Another emergency stock purchase by banking consortiums would lead to a one-day boost, and it would even rally the next month. But the Dow entered a steady descent that would not hit bottom until mid-1932, in the depths of the Great Depression. But it's important to remember that the crash and the depression are not the same thing. Historians still argue about how connected they were. In fact, the Depression proper would not hit until months later, when banks started to fail from bad loans and unemployment rose. Then, as today, it's important to remember that the stock market isn't the same thing as the economy. The Dow Jones recovered faster than the country as a whole. But the crash shook consumer confidence and wiped out the savings of small investors, leading to fewer purchases of items like cars at a time when auto manufacturing was a large part of the American economy. Whether responsible for the Depression or not, the 1929 crash would symbolize the start of very hard times. Within a few short years, Ford's assembly line ground to a halt, sending unemployment in Detroit to 34%. Half of construction workers were without work. The country watched the U.S. Army deploy tanks and tear gas against a World War I veterans protest, and great dust storms tore across the plains, making it snow red.
That's not related to a depression at all. That's just the military being deployed on poor veterans. That's that's not that. No one even had stock in that situation. That's not a stock crash. That's just a really dick move.
In New England, a decade of disasters, ecological, financial, and deeply personal, all heralded by the Wall Street crash. And while I'm sure we'll cover the Depression in more detail someday, for now, it is good to remember that as hard as those times were, we got through them. It took perseverance and cooperation, but we did recover. Even when things looked dark, we came back. Until next time, stay safe, everyone. Legendary thanks to...
I mean, there are people who bought at the bottom, diamond hands, and now are rich fucking... I guess even older than boomers. Rich, greatest generation. Thank you for the 24 months, Mia Lure, and Jim Liquor for the 9. Thank you for the 9 months for your Glancer. Thank you so much. This will help for the treatment, which is extraordinarily expensive because it is a real disease that I do have. Graham Crackers, thank you for the 15 months. Snakes Up Your Ass, thank you for the Prime. Mass 9119, thank you for the Prime. How did you survive the Depression, Big A? I hit the gym. That's what I did. In 1929, I said, this is a national depression, and the best way to get out there is to touch grass and hit the gym. And so I just started lifting, you know. Went on a cut. Hit some gains. I grinded it out. Yeah, and also I invested in Bitcoin early. 1929 early. And I've been holding it for 80 years. Here's the full... Yeah, well, I looked at the script. Fun vid on getting a haircut in North Korea. Someone else posted the same vid. Is it that fun? Seems a little long is the only thing. I do love Boy Boy. Don't get me wrong. Just a 20-minute vid. Kind of looking for... Putin reveals what he admires about America. 2-minute video.
Now to our 60 minutes.
I have to know. What does Putin admire about America? Because he's been very critical. 7 years ago, what does Vladimir Putin admire about America?
Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader, is among those heading to the United Nations. Putin addressed the General Assembly on Monday for the first time in more than a decade. This morning, the Kremlin said it is too early to say whether he will meet President Obama. We looked at what Putin thinks of America and how the world views him in our conversation that took place just days ago outside Moscow. Here's a preview of Sunday's report for 60 Minutes. You're much talked about in America. There's much conversation, more so than
Maybe they have nothing else to do in America but talk.
It'd be really funny if that's not what he was saying. But 60 Minutes wanted it to be more palatable, so they changed it. He's like, bitch, not one thing I like. Wow, thanks, Putin. I'm sure we'll all be friends forever. Thanks for that compliment 7 years ago. Really means a lot to us Americans. Another economic historical video. Do we what's let's see. What is a really interesting channel? Oh, this video. Let's watch this video. This video I've seen in my recommended every single day. The Economist thinks I will love this fucking video. It's called "Why is Argentina's Economy Such a Mess?" and it's like a guy dying on the street with a dollar bill. And I've seen this fucking video recommended, and every day it has more views. It had like fucking 50K, now it has 830K. And it's always in my For You, and it's 12 minutes long. I'm going to watch it. What's going on in Argentina? I want to know. Let's find out.
In a small office in Buenos Aires, a black market deal is underway. If they're caught, those involved could end up in jail. But it's not drugs or weapons being sold. It's money. Despite the risks, deals like this are commonplace in Argentina's capital. And they are one in a long list of economic woes, like hyperinflation,
President Menem inherited a country in economic and social disorder,
bank runs, even an ex-president found guilty of defrauding the state.
Fernandez has dismissed the trial. It's a witch hunt.
The problem is that, as we normally say, Argentina is a country that never misses an opportunity to miss an opportunity.
Argentines' frustration with the economic dysfunction saw the rise of a radical presidential hopeful in the 2023 election. Javier Milei wants to dollarize the economy, a move he says would blow up the central bank.
Dollarize?
But the change that Argentina needs will take more than one man.
The main reason Argentina's economy is so chaotic is because of consistent economic mismanagement over decades. Without big solutions.
I mean, my understanding is that Argentina's government runs a massive deficit, and because their currency is valueless, like America does the same thing, but we can print more dollars and dollars have demand. But Argentina can't. So they have to find a way to struggle to pay back their debt in dollars. And that's a real problem because they don't have enough.
Things could get much
I don't know how dollarization would help them out. I don't know how that would help them at all, but let's see.
Events of the past few years have been difficult for the world economy.
This is going to be a tough year, tougher than the year we leave behind.
This financial
dollarization is them literally using the dollar for their entire economy because their currency. Yeah, I get that, but I don't understand that solves their problem. All that does is like they need to get the dollars, and they get the dollars by trading with America. And do they have enough exports to support enough dollars to make their whole economy run on? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Storm hit when Argentina was already in peril. To understand how bad it is for South America's second largest country, take a look at inflation. Countries like Britain have experienced annual price rises on par with the world average, in high single digits. Argentina's inflation hasn't been that low in decades. The rate has been higher than 100% for almost all of 2023.
Right now, only Venezuela and Lebanon have higher rates. And it's really hard to kind of just imagine what that's like.
I think we showed on Marketing Monday, there was a guy, there's a guy in Lebanon who ordered a coffee and then sipped on it for an afternoon and then paid his bill. And the price had like doubled or the price had gone way up during the time that he had first purchased the coffee. And then when he like settled up the bill,
some people, they just can't make ends meet anymore.
Inflation this high forces many Argentines to get creative.
Argentines save in dollars because saving in local currency in a local bank has been a recipe for disasters.
Even this isn't easy.
Right now, Argentines can only legally buy $200 a month at the official exchange rate.
That has created...
sorry, they're Argentines and not Argentinians? Is that what it is? I've never heard Argentines, but they're saying it every time. I guess both are right. Okay. I'm going to keep saying Argentinian. All right, I'm not switching. So deal with it, Argentines.
A vast black market for currency. Dealers line the streets of the city center, while people hoard stashes of cash at home. But buying dollars on the black market is more expensive than the official rate.
Yikes.
Hoy el mercado, tenés un dólar de 760 pesos contra un dólar oficial de 360 pesos. La brecha es enorme.
El Flaco is one of a handful of bosses in Argentina.
Okay, I have a follow-up question then. If the official exchange rate is 360 pesos to $1, can't you just go to a bank or a money changer and change it? And if they say no, then isn't it obviously not the official exchange rate?
Argentina's currency black market.
Oh, there's a max. Oh, there's a limit. Oh, there's a limit. Oh, how interesting. But at that rate, they can still do it? Oh, weird.
Agreed to talk to us on condition of anonymity.
Hace 30 años que trabajo en el mercado paralelo. Son 15 operadores, no más de eso.
He claims the black market has tacit approval.
En la bolsa de comercio se negocia absolutamente todo. Y también se negocia en los bancos. Los bancos tienen mesas de dinero. En esa mesa de dinero es donde se forman los precios, que obviamente se trabaja en forma paralela, no es una forma legal de trabajar. Entonces, digamos que es un mercado ilegal,
pseudo-legal,
pero pseudo-legal, acorde a lo que vos ves diariamente.
With a GDP of $630 billion US, Argentina is one of the largest economies in South America.
1/3 Apple.
But this booming black market is a symptom of just how bad things are. And the roots of the problem run deep.
The main reason Argentina's economy is where it is today is historical.
Once one of the richest countries in the world, there are many reasons behind Argentina's decline, including the legacy of this man, Juan Domingo Perón, elected president in 1946.
He came to power after having been inspired by Mussolini's fascist Italy. Basically, what he took from fascism was a strong state that's very intrusive, a strong emphasis on nationalism. And he combined that with also having a very strong labor movement.
He introduced the 8-hour workday, increased wages for the poor, and created vast, expensive welfare schemes.
Okay,
he also
better than
embraced
Mussolini.
economic isolationism.
The emphasis on national sovereignty led to kind of the coddling of workers by protecting them from foreign competition. It has shut itself off from international trade.
Today, Argentine politics is still dominated by his legacy. Peronists have been in power for 16 of the past 20 years.
One of the issues with Peronism is they haven't evolved with globalization and with the world. Argentina's exports have shrunk as a percentage of global exports year after year. In the mining sector, Argentina has one of the largest reserves of lithium, and also it's very rich in copper. Just to think that Chile is the biggest copper exporter in the world, and Argentina produces 0 copper, and we share the same mountains.
As well as remaining isolated from the world economy, the government also still hugely overspends on things like price subsidies. The average European spends around $40 a month on electricity. The average Argentine spends $5, 8 times less.
Cool.
In 2022 alone, this cost the government $12.5 billion, around 2% of Argentina's GDP. But government largesse goes beyond welfare. Of the 13 million people in formal employment in Argentina, over a third of them are employed by the state itself.
A lot of spending goes on paying salaries and pensions.
That's shocking.
You actually wanted to go on things like investment, technology, infrastructure, helping the poor, rather than paying public wages.
All of this points to the main issue in Argentina's economy.
Argentina has been running a fiscal deficit for the last 13 years. If you're in a difficult time for 13 years in a row, well, you have a big problem.
Policies to counteract this deficit, like printing money, only make things worse.
Yeah.
Governments have become dependent on the central bank printing money to basically finance spending. And the more money you print, the worse inflation gets.
Local shopkeeper Marta Valdez feels the direct impact of more money being pumped into the system.
Acá tenemos 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
It looks like Argentina's debt to GDP is not so bad. I'm interested. I think they have a weak currency, bro.
$1,000 pesos con todo esto.
80%.
Mirá
It's
si
like
me va a
not even-
entrar esto en la caja registradora, ya no me va.
Putting more money into circulation can mean it's worth less.
Que a la mañana marcamos un precio y quizás que a la tarde marcamos otro precio. Como por ejemplo el precio de los lácteos son
They
de
change it during the day. That's
480,
crazy.
pasamos a 580. En ese periodo nosotros perdimos, porque ya a la tarde
That's
es otro
crazy.
precio.
That's not
Trabajás para
sustainable.
nada, porque no ganás nada.
That's, I mean, that's
Printing money
riots.
is only one way the government tries to fund its spending. Another is borrowing.
So Argentina has borrowed a lot of money.
So the trick is to move to a company like Argentina or a company that has rising inflation and start a sticker company. Because demand for new stickers is going to go through the roof as they constantly update the price. Company, not country. I live in America. There's no difference. Sorry. This is the way I see the world. Sorry.
But it has also defaulted so many times that people don't want to lend it money anymore.
Despite the risks, there is one institution that continues to lend.
He decidido iniciar conversaciones con el Fondo Monetario Internacional.
Today, Argentina's debt to the IMF is more than double that of Egypt, the second highest borrower. All told, Argentina holds almost a third of all of the IMF's total lending.
One of the criticisms
They're
that
good
most
for it.
economists have posed to the IMF is that the conditionality that they put to Argentina was so light. They didn't need to stabilize the economy, they didn't need to do any homework, and they received money. I think that was another
homework.
missed opportunity for Argentina.
Borrowing and printing money are not unusual tactics for governments,
Let's
but the
go.
extent that Argentina's government does both is extreme and damaging. In part because loans from the IMF need to be repaid in foreign currency. And one tactic Argentina employs to get that foreign currency only complicates things more. Trade restrictions. Soybeans are one of the country's biggest exports.
Let's go, soybeans.
The soybean producer in Argentina, they face an export tax of 33%. If a ton of soybean costs, say, $500, I receive $500 minus 33%.
Leaving the farmer with $335. They then have to exchange these dollars for pesos on the official exchange rate. When the dollar rate is bad, farmers have to make harsh decisions.
The incentive is to keep your soybeans in your silos until the exchange rate changes. If everybody does that, the supply of dollars in the economy is scarce, so the government invented something that we call the soybean dollar.
The soya dollar is a slightly better exchange rate specifically for profits on soya exports. But it's not the only market with confusing rules.
The soy dollar?
If you want to organize a concert in Argentina and bring a British singer, you have to pay the official dollar.
That's how you buy Starbucks in California. They don't accept my regular dollar. I have to use soy coin.
And then an extra tax. We call it the dollar Coldplay. If you want to travel abroad, you use your Argentine credit card and you pay the official dollar plus taxes. And we call that the dollar Qatar. This idea of having 10, 15, 20 different prices for the same thing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
That's a
it's really
distortion.
annoying.
With
That's
the set
crazy.
of distortions, it's impossible that Argentina grows.
Over the years, different presidents have proposed different solutions to the economic conundrum. But the outcome tends to be the same: more debt and more inflation.
Hoy estamos más pobres que antes.
It's really, really hard to fix Argentina's economy. And that's because many of the things that we've talked about are linked. Everybody agrees the government needs to spend less. One way to do that is by reducing subsidies. But if you do that, you're going to push up inflation. Everyone knows the currency needs to be devalued, but if you devalue the currency, that will also push up inflation.
Yeah, I mean, also.
So it's really
I assume any one of these things would be the tipping point. Is this Walmart? Argentina Walmart? Even in this fucked up economy, Walmart and McDonald's are still there to extract value. That's hype. Let's go, America.
Hard because tackling one part of the puzzle means that things could get much worse before they actually get better.
As the 2023 president...
Yeah, and like no leader would ever want to do that because they would become immediately unpopular. And I mean, now they're at the point where this is like close to rioting. Yikes.
Election approaches, it will be difficult to convince a disillusioned population that short-term pain will bring long-term prosperity.
El tema principalmente es hacia dónde va a ir el gobierno.
We don't have it this bad, but this is the same problem with American politics, where like neither side is capable anymore of proposing anything that inflicts short-term pain for long-term gain. And the public doesn't want to fucking hear it, dude. Nobody wants to hear it. Anything that could possibly be like short-term negative.
No, de turno.
Yo no creo que vaya a cambiar.
No, this is not the same.
Estamos en una situación muy fea.
The real heart of the problem is trust. If Argentina cannot win back the trust of its citizens or the trust of the markets, it's never going to be able to fix its problem. And in order to build trust, you need to have good policies for decades, not just for a few years, not just for one government.
Interesting.
Thanks for watching. 2023 is an election year here in Argentina, and I'm going to be covering it extensively. So if you want to read my coverage and watch more videos...
When's the election? I kind of want to follow this up. 2023 Argentinian election. October 22nd? Holy shit, this is a big one. Messi is the... You think Messi's going to run? Yeah, he would easily win in a landslide. I don't know any of these people, but I do know that Messi, if he decided to run for any reason, would sweep. Don't think that he wants this job, though. How do I see who's polling the best? Oh, right here. Opinion polls? Okay, so purple guy, LLA. LLA. Oh. Javier Milei, age 52, from Buenos Aires, is currently crushing opinion polls, while the former frontrunner, JXC, Patricia Bullrich, is getting crushed. The Libertarian Party, this is a third party. Is this normally a two-party system? Is there a third party up here? This guy. This fucking guy like a Law and Order character. He's quasi-fascist. There you go. The quasi-fascist Law and Order character, Javier Milei, is coming for the Libertarian Party. Insane. Interesting. Austin Powers? No. And then Sergio. Is this the guy? Is he the current president? Who's the current president? This guy, Alberto Fernandez. So he's not running again. Interesting. Why not? Bro, he's old. I thought I was looking at his birthday. I thought he's 197 years old. I was like, damn, that bro, he's been doing it. Joe Biden's got some years ahead of him with this guy. How how old are you? This dude is 64. Oh, he's spring chicken, dude. This guy's young. His approval ratings are low. He has 80% disapproval. Okay, so I guess he's not. He's a president without a plan, with a weak administration. Okay, for economist doesn't like him. He's not going to seek re-election. All right, he's done with it. I see. He's done with it. Wow, pretty important election here. Do they have competing plans? Have they said, has anyone promised short-term pain for long-term gain? No one would seek re-election there. It's so fucked. I don't know why they seek election to begin with. Man, I'm kind of interested. This is like a big election. Leslie's going to run. Guys, Leslie's going to run. Awesome. This could be huge for Argentina. Leslie, my mod, is going to run. Argentinian election stakes. Far-right outsider Javier Milei posts shock win in primary election. He is an outsider. Argentine voters have punished the country's two main political forces in a primary election, pushing a rock-slinging libertarian outsider candidate into first place. Okay, he's doing like the Trump thing, right? He's like, hey, everything sucks. I'm going to burn it down. Kind of a populist kind of thing. Is he funny like Trump? Does he have like funny jokes? Does he have good tweets? You betcha. He's just a Redditor. His campaign makes hella memes. Yikes. What's his plan? What does he say? The economic crisis left many Argentines disillusioned with the main political parties and opened the door. Yeah, I mean, this is not uncommon in other countries right now. Everyone feels a little bit of the pressure, especially with inflation. Everyone's low-key pissed, looking for a change. Also, the level of inflation they're talking about, over 100% inflation in just 2023 is insane. That is the level where people start rioting all the time. I mean, they're right at the level where your country dissolves. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the level of inflation you're talking about is yeah, they said it's been high for a decade, but you see in the chart, it was like it has now breached over 100% a year. Which is, if they're changing prices every day, everything you're getting paid is devalued by the end of the day you got it. We had riots already. I assume. I'm just saying it's probably, that's the end of the road at that level of inflation. That's like a reset situation. Argentinian riots. Let me read. Oh, this is recent. The death of... Oh, this is old. You're right. That is old. I want something more recent. This was August 17th of this year. 2021, they had one. Interesting. There were no major riots. Okay. Nobody cares about Argentina, lil bro. What do you care about, JSA Maz? Let me see your fucking... Let's see your chat history. You said girls love toxic chads. I looked it up on WebMD. You also apparently I've been making gains from Bed Bath and Beyond stock. Okay. All right, bro. All right. My God, little homie. Dollar eyes, dollar lies. Think about it. Dude, I am thinking about it. You're actually blowing my mind right now. I actually am thinking about it, and you're cooking. You're spitting. This is 3 weeks ago. Wait, I want to see one more thing.
Chaos playing out in the streets of Argentina as business owners fend off looters with firearms while frustrations mount over astronomical inflation rates growing to more than 110%.
Es impresionante. Es un desastre. Ya tenés que andar mirando
Yo,
para
fruit
todos
snacks,
lados,
even the
pero
gifted.
es lo que se está viviendo hoy.
Scenes of people
They
running
covered
from
the whole- I
stores
couldn't even
with
see what you were
shopping
saying.
carts full of goods, prompting shops to reinforce storefronts with metal doors.
The situation is dire. People are taking matters into their own hands.
The economic unrest stretching from cities near the capital to the Patagonia region.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I just don't like. If you're an average person and the stuff you're getting paid in is worth less every single day so dramatically, you know, you just can't think about, I'm going to do my regular thing, do my job, pay my taxes. Like, people start looking for, all your savings are wiped out. Like, that becomes a crisis point. Get remote work and live like a king? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, inflation's a big BFD. Can't they just sell NFTs? Fuck, you're right. I knew a guy who worked remote in Argentina and was doing exactly that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, if you're in like a, relatively safe area and you're getting paid remotely in dollars and the place needs dollars so badly, you're getting everything for incredibly cheap. I guess that would be good for you individually. Fruit snacks. Thank you for the 10 gifted. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, it's time for real snacks. I'm going to play an ad break, and then we're going to watch House MD Season 4, Episode 3. Actually, let me be able to fit one more video. Because I do want to start that at 10. We might be able to fit one more video. Let's see. Fun video on government cheese. Let's see. Is it short?
The government manages
No.
a lot of things.
No. Need something different. IT companies are hiring remote in Argentina. What is let me see what what is it? Houses? I'm looking at property for sale in Buenos Aires. Okay. Let's see let's that one a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3 car spaces. Nothing exists. 2 car spaces. 1 car space. Nothing. Okay. How about 4 bedrooms? 2 baths. Nothing? Any amount of car spaces. Okay. This is a $2 million USD 5-bedroom. This doesn't. This is 2 million USD. I guess you get all the land with it. I'm not about this, bro. That doesn't. Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, you get a lot of land, I guess. I don't even see. What am I going to do with the land, bro? What am I going to do with it? It's a 20-kilometer dirt road. And then an hour 15 from what? Caba, which is the nearest place? That's not it. That's not it for me. What about this one, though? In the city. $1 million USD. Check this out. It's like a compound, dude. Oh my God, it's barred up. Bro, look at this. This is $1 million USD and this is fucking barred up. Yeah, I'm not moving to... No. No, thank you. Crazy casino video already secured. Nice, Golden. Can we visit? Can we have a chat? Argentina meetup at Golden Fighting Link's new $1 million pad. 1 million USD in LA is barely better. No, I mean, listen, that's more house than you'd get in LA. LA for $1 million, you would get less house than that for sure. But I mean, I just think that place looks like it's a little sketch for a mill. Cool vid by Linkus about RNG. A Linkus video? Bro, I'd love to watch a Linkus video.
In general.
That's a 24-minute video, bro. I can't watch that. We're watching House here in just 8 minutes. I'm looking for something. Also, I'm halfway through this video already, so... Funny vid by Boy 3 minutes long.
Last
America has worse police than North Korea for 3 minutes. Okay, fuck it. Let's see what Boy has to say about that. Let's see, Boy.
Last week in America, a man has died shortly after coming back home from North Korea, and the day before that, a woman was shot dead by police after calling 911 to report a burglary. It's safe to say people are absolutely furious.
Whoa. Only about the first one.
Horrifying and mystifying story of Otto Warmbier.
Trying to take down a propaganda banner.
And he was sentenced to 15 years in prison.
Atrocious, horrific law.
There is nothing more tragic.
He's an American.
This ticks me off. This bothers me so much you don't even understand.
Even basketball superstar Dennis Rodman traveled to North Korea to help with Otto's release.
For a brief moment, everyone was relieved that Otto had escaped the brutal regime and was back home safe in the land of the free.
Nice.
We're thrilled that our son is on American soil.
Otto Warmbier is finally home.
He was at peace, he was home.
Back on U.S. soil.
And sure, America would be a very nice, safe place for certain people. I mean, for people like Otto, Alex, or Alexa, we live relatively privileged lives.
Isn't this in Australia?
The good life. Free to do what we enjoy without any serious consequences. Our sheltered lives are a world away from the oppressive parts of our country. In fact, we're so unbearably comfortable that we have to travel overseas.
That's a big score.
To spooky foreign countries just to marvel at the spectacle of oppression.
2 Aussie students who travelled to North Korea for haircuts.
The Department of Foreign Affairs' official travel advice is for Australians to reconsider.
But some people don't really need to
Well, I really do want to watch
spooky
this. So
foreign
they
countries
went
just-
into North Korea and they got a haircut and then left. I actually really want to watch that. I can't do it today, but that's crazy. I hung out with these guys when they were in LA. We went climbing together. They were extremely funny. They just made me laugh a lot. I feel like I mostly just did laughing, but they were great. They were very. I mean, I told this story. I forgot this was them. It was when I was driving them. They were both in the back of my car, and I was driving them to go meet somebody. And I don't know why I got like nervous or something. Well, I forgot what my explanation was. But I like misread the map, and I parked us like fucking 2 miles from where we were supposed to be. And then I was like, get out. We're here. And then we started walking, and they were like, okay. And then we walked like 2 blocks, and then I checked the fucking map, and I'm like, oh. So then we had to walk back to my car and then keep driving. Yeah, I distinctly remember that. So anyway, they think I'm chill.
Just to experience brutal state oppression. I mean, for a lot of people, North Korea comes bursting through their door every day.
On top of your head. Put your hands on top of your head.
For a lot of people in America, you can get the death sentence just for reporting a burglary or using a garden hose. But if you're lucky, they'll only wound you and kill your dog. Just like Otto's tragic situation, Jermichael Mitchell, who was in prison for stealing $5 worth of groceries, died in his cell a month later.
Jesus.
In fact, in America, 10 people die in police custody every day. And where are the celebrities? Where's Dennis Rodman? When was the last time you saw Lady Gaga ringing up the White House, pleading for the release of all these wrongfully imprisoned people before they die?
Somebody did that,
all
right?
All of these deaths in custody are absolutely tragic. But the way the media ignores the vast majority of them and focuses on this one case and brings in all sorts of experts that tell you
they're in very dire conditions at these prisons.
The brutalization and terrorism
at the hands of regimes that do not respect the rule of law.
This is a very cruel regime.
And this whitewashes all the crimes that happen in the West and sets us up to invade yet another country.
It's a brutal regime, and we'll be able to handle it.
I do think for-profit prisons are, I mean, one of the most insanely disturbing innovations of America. Insanely fucked. Yeah, that's not a brave take. I'm saying everyone thinks that. I don't think anyone's for it. It's just crazy that it exists and it keeps moving on. And people can just keep setting them up for money. It's crazy that Michael Burry invested in them. And it's not new either. It's been living forever in America. Public non-profit prisons are still evil. Look at Angola. Business is business. Okay, 2 minutes left, and we're going to watch House MD. So, I'm going to run an ad real quick, and then we're going to watch House. Get snacks during this time. Perfect time to do that. And I'll play the ad song. Let's see it. Wait.